Today we want to talk about us as men, what we could do to better ourselves and come together as men. What's your opinions on aspects of things that's going on, maybe from your lifestyle, from where you came from, what you feel?
Right. I feel like we don't talk to each other. We hate on each other. Depending on where you from, if I'm from this side, you don't mess with me. If I'm from that side, you don't mess with me. Mentality black men have, especially with my age group, I see it the most coming up to now. I try to express myself with black men. Like, I try to talk to black men. Like, how you doing, bro? Like, if I'm outside of a bar, I just see a dude smoking a cigarette. Like, how you feeling, bro? You had a good day today. I try to get myself talk to just people in general. Anybody can use or how you feeling today or what's going on. You good?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So, what do you, damn it, this damn dog. So, what do you feel about maybe some of the problems with why we are in competition with each other and don't want to see each other win?
Society definitely got to do a lot with it. The women that we choose to date, especially if you're not like conscious with yourself and the type of woman you want to be with or the type of woman you need to be with, society really got us fucked up.
So, the environment, really.
Really, like, we a product on our environment, and that's kind of sad.
So, could you explain a little bit about your environment, where you come from?
Okay, so like you're from Chicago, so I'm from the Roseland area. I moved a lot in school, kind of like a troublemaker. So I went to a lot of schools around the area. So as I got older, maybe teenagers, gangs was, introduced. So that was the environment I was living in at the time. It was like a divider. So like King Drive, right? If you stay south of King Drive going towards Cottage, you was a Stone. If you stay north of King Drive going towards State, you was a GD. But luckily, even though like I started gang banging and I was a Stone, luckily I went to all the schools around the 100. I went to St. John, I went to Bennett, I went to Wendell Smith. I was really cool with everybody. My environment was different. I could go on the other side to be cool. I had cousins that stayed on both sides, family area. I was kind of cool. Everybody knew me. You know what I'm saying? I could tell the difference. People that I might have fucked with didn't, necessarily fuck with the dudes up the street. And I understood what was going on. As I got older, I kind of realized that was kind of stupid. Like, we could have all been in correlation with each other. Just because I'm from this side or somebody from this side, you don't get along with them the whole time, y'all could be best friends.
So what made you get into a gang?
My pops went in my life. I kind of resented that. Growing up, I just wanted to look up to somebody, a man, a father figure. The closest thing was like big homies, shit like that.
I feel you on that because that was kind of like the same for me too. Where I had a good role model. My little sister daddy raised me, but it was other emotional things in the background going on, and they couldn't protect me or keep me safe when I left the house and went to school.
I definitely had a good male father figure. My uncle, when I got to maybe teenagers, everybody heard from me that he was homosexual. And I kind of didn't understand it. So, my mom broke it down to me. It kind of just made me mad because it was like, damn, like, I really can't have nobody. My pop's not in my life. The dude that's really stepping up is gay. And it's like, damn, like, I don't want that. I want a figure to look up to understand his manhood shit.
But was he doing doing what he was supposed to do as a man?
The age I am now, looking back, yeah, he definitely did. Never steered me to be a homosexual man. Like, never put that bug in my ear to make me feel that way about myself. As a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming to pick me up, talking to me about sex, birds and the bees, how to drive, definitely, for sure. Making sure I save money, understanding saving money, credit, for sure. My uncle definitely stepped up. But it
So
took a
it's
while
more
for me to get over that, you know what I'm saying, that homosexual hump. So that was another reason why I started gangbanging.
a fear from what other people gonna think about you because they know you and your uncle.
Right. I mean, not even necessarily because people I knew didn't know my uncle. Like, my uncle wasn't from the area. He was in my life. I looked at him like a Superman. When my OG broke down to me that, he was homosexual, I was like, I really can't have nobody to look up to in confidence. But
Let me ask
I
you.
broke out
Let
of
me
that
ask you a question.
homosexual thing.
Do you kind of regret pulling a different direction, even though he was a good man? It was just that people was just trying to judge him for his lifestyle, and you didn't want to get the negative end of that.
Okay, so no, because when like I found out, that was really the beginning to opening up other people as far as being like, homosexual, lesbian, transgender and shit like that. It opened it up to me. Well, if he this way, he never steered on to me. And at the time I understood that I was a heterosexual male. I was for it. He family, father figure to me. Like, I gotta accept it, like I gotta grow up a little bit.
As you done got older now, just understanding that, man, maybe you wouldn't have possibly went the gang route. You didn't feel that negative energy from what you thought people might
Oh yeah,
feel.
for sure. Cause like even with the gangster, like it was a lot of shit that I didn't necessarily feel was right to do. I've been in like one shootout, ducked for my life just because we into it with some niggas up the street. And I know them, my cousin hang with. It's like I'm cool to go have a conversation. We could squash this shit, but that's just the environment we was in, and that's what we was doing. And I was with that shit. But after that, I was just like, you know what, bro, this shit ain't for me.
So it
Shit,
wasn't.
like,
But so for like some of the people that join gangs is for survival, kind of like a phase you went through because
right,
you was in your feelings in a sense about the whole situation.
yeah,
You
for
started
sure, for
acting
sure,
out.
right. Yeah, looking back on it now, that's definitely what it was.
Makes sense. That's why I think a lot of people don't understand. Well, everybody do things for different reasons. Did you go to church when you grew up?
Yeah, I was definitely a church boy growing up. Mom's was um, Catholic, so I grew up in the Catholic church.
Okay, Catholic church. So you feel like that time was like when you started to spiral a little bit.
Yeah,
Was
like
it the
eighth
start
grade
of
going
it, or
to
was
high
it
school.
other things? I'm sorry.
The start of it, it was kind of like a big gap, right? So we kind of got to go back a minute. So I'll say 3 to maybe like 7, maybe no, 3 to 5. My mom's used to get visitation, me and my dad. Well, not my mom's, but my dad used to get visitation. And he had this wife. Her son maybe been about like 11 to 12 at the time, 13, preteen area. He used to touch me and shit like that. And like I said, I'm 3 to 5, so I'm coming to the crib. I used to fight him off and shit like that. So that's kind of how I learned to fight. Coming to the crib, 3 years old, 4 years old, with all these scratches on my head, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, on fighting this dude. I kind of opened up to my mom, like she was the person to catch it. I understood, even like growing up with rape cases and things of that nature, like nobody caught it. Thankfully,
Right.
my mom caught it at a young age. So went to therapy. So that's about like 5, 6. So then maybe like 7 to like 11, everything was cool. 13 to 18, yeah, shit went down, yeah, for sure. So it was kind of like a gap. That happened. Everything was good for a couple of years. 8th grade, going into high school, oh yeah, it was a wrap. Different story.
Because of the environment.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Because my little sister daddy, he used to whoop me all the time, and I used to get a lot of whoopings more than what I felt I should get. It made me start acting out. That's kind of like what pushed me in the streets and stuff. Is that I started getting aggressive because I'm always getting whoopings and stuff.
Right.
And it started messing with my mind. But it was like I didn't get whoopings for like doing bad stuff in the
Like
streets. It
misbehaving
was
and
more,
shit like that.
yeah, it was more so for like for school stuff.
Okay.
It still had created that. That's where it started with me. With after you get so many beatings, after something get done to you so long, then you want to fight back. And if you feel like
Right.
you can't fight back, then you start putting that aggression toward other people.
Right. Or you find different letouts for the anger. Like on my generation, a lot of dudes couldn't fight, so they started picking up guns. Because now the shit is easier. Like if I got to take my anger out on somebody, I could just go kill them. Instant satisfaction. At the age I was, like I would love somebody like my age, like 25, 26, at the age of 16 to just tell me what's going on. Like you're not far from age from me, so you know exactly what I'm going through. Definitely could give me some type of advice, but motherfuckers just had to learn the hard way. Whatever I deal with, if I choose to lie, if I choose to tell the truth, like that's what I was doing. No guidance, it was just me. Fuck it.
That male role model, the man in the house, just to help guide you.
Right. Didn't have it. I had a male role model in the house. It was my grandmother's husband. So not my mother's father, her stepfather. Like when we was talking about like stepfathers and shit like that, we was talking about this a while ago. The scientific male, like my mom didn't fuck the dude. If you can't be a father to my mom's, you definitely not going to be a grandfather to me, that type of role. So I can count on my hand how many times me and him had a conversation in the amount of years from birth to, we moved from the hundreds, I was like 18, 19. So from Birth to 19, I can count on my hands how many times I had a conversation with him. Never taught me how to cut the grass. He was big on mechanics. Never taught me how to change a tire. You feel me? Shit like that. Like, just a waste of space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He pretty much put himself in his work all the time.
right? Yeah. He was a used to work industrial back in the 60s, 70s, maybe when the factory jobs was real good and niggas used to get pension. Like, he was one of them dudes living off his pension. You know what I'm saying? Just paying bills in the crib. Like I said, my mom didn't fuck with him. They didn't have a good relationship. And like I said, we barely talked. So he was just there.
What year was you born again?
95.
You was born in 95, I was born in 87. And even a lot of older people, do you think part of this is because a problem with not having a father in the household?
Yeah, for sure.
In the environment?
Yeah, for sure. Or if that's a problem that Black fathers are not in the household, let's at least have a role model or something that, you know what I'm saying, kids can just look up to or children to just look up to. Like, at least one of those would have helped. If it was about like 2 to 3 niggas in each part of the area, children could just look up to, talk to one of them. Like, I understand every household differently, and you know, just to reach somebody, you can just start as so much less. We don't need too much just to start. You know, like I said, about 2, 3 dudes in each community, you know what I'm saying, reaching out to little kids, see how their day going, what's going on with them, how school.
Is your father still alive now?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, for sure.
So what was he at through all this? What role did he play in your life?
All right, so going back to the age of 3 with the visitation and when that was happening to me, when my mom caught that shit, they went through courts, all type of shit. Like, I don't really remember what was going on, but I definitely understood it was something going on at the time because I wasn't seeing him no more.
How did that make you feel? Because you knew you wasn't seeing him, if you remember.
Right, at the time, I ain't understand. Cause like, this may be about 3 to 5. I ain't understand, but I knew it was something wrong. I'm not going over there on the weekends no more. Like, when she caught that and I'm going to therapy now, it was a shift in my life. And I'm getting older, so I'm remembering and I'm understanding it's a problem. She didn't necessarily put the bug in my ear. Your father's a deadbeat. You know, she definitely told me to call. She made it my business to call, even if he did try to force the relationship from me to him. After that happened, after I'm going to therapy, maybe about 7 to 11, we did not talk.
So he didn't know about all the stuff that was going on with you?
Oh, no, yeah, he knew. Like I said, this was his wife's son, so this is my stepbrother. So he was married to this lady, and her son was doing this to me.
Think he might have been jealous or had some type of feeling about the situation with you coming over there on the weekends or how your visitation worked?
Okay, so the visitation was like, he would get me on weekends and rotating holidays. I would go over there on the weekends, and I don't know about the jealousy. From what I remember, like, my pop's one of them men that just kind of like leaned on women to take care of him. Based off what my mom's told me about his relationship with his mother and him being the baby out of 3 girls. My oldest uncle died when he was like 14, so I never had a relationship with him. So after that, it was 2 older girls, and then he's the baby, so he always had women taking care of him. So really, my stepmom at the time, who he was with, was really like a chess move. They had no kids together. She had a son and a daughter, but I think the daughter was way well in her 20s around this time. Like I said, I'm 3, and then her son, you know, who was molesting me at the time, was like 11, 12.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really just a chess move. She taking care of him. You know, he coming home from work, making the money, paying the bills, you know, the American dream, as they say.
Right. So really, he didn't really teach you nothing?
No. Our relationship kind of, when I was going through counseling and shit like that, like those years, I'll say from like 7 to 11, we wasn't talking. Maybe a couple birthdays here and there, you know, Christmases, we wasn't talking. 13 came back around. By this time, I ain't trying to hear that shit, dude. You know, I'm mad. Now I'm mad, angry, frustrated, bro. Now you trying to come back around? Like, you know, I'm a teenager going through puberty and shit. Like, it's like, fuck you now. You know what I'm saying? I started to get feeling myself.
Rebellion. Yeah, I
right,
feel you a little
exactly.
bit. So we kind of got some stuff in common, though. Cause me and my older sister got two different daddies, and then my two youngest sisters got the same daddy, but they daddy raised me since birth. Now that I'm grown and got older, I realized I got my family ethics from him because he did work and take care of the family, and he was a provider. He didn't gang bang, didn't do drugs or none of that stuff. He was a good man, but
Right.
it didn't teach me nothing. Didn't nobody teach me what I was supposed to do out here in this world. And then
Right.
I started learning stuff from the streets, and that's kind of what got me into gang banging. I was getting beat, well,
Right.
whooped, and I really didn't feel that connection. What's messed up about my situation is my mama didn't tell me that my little sister daddy wasn't my daddy until he died when I was 17. They went on vacation and he had a stroke. He went brain dead. He was in the hospital for I think about a week or two, and then he went brain dead, and they just pulled the plug on him. And then I had started acting out a little bit around that time, a little more, and then I had caught a case and went to jail. And when I came home, she was like, "You want to know who this person is?" I kind of knew because she had changed my name when I was like second or third grade to my little sister daddy's last name.
Okay.
And I remember that, but then because I kind of like got in trouble in school because she told me to write my name this way, and then the school like, no, this your name. And I'm like, well, look, this is what my mama told me, so this is what I'm doing. And I had to call her, and she straightened everything out, or whatever. And I started writing my name like that. It was just a whole energy and all that. I kind of felt it. But then when he died, she told me, and then she was like, "You want to meet him?" And I'm like, "Yeah." When I first met him, I'm like, yo, I was gang banging and stuff around then, so I got my head cocked. He like, man, you need to fix your head around me and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you ain't been here. I just wanted to meet you, just to know who you was, just to see you, see where I come from.
Understand how you were to get how you was to meet him. Understand something about yourself type shit. I get you.
I think that played a big role for me was getting the whoopings, which I think came from me not being his child. That's when I started acting up.
For sure.
Like right now, where you at with yourself and your whole situation right now?
All right, so like now, a couple things kind of transpired in the last, I'll say, week with me and my pop. So diabetes run real rapid on his side of the family, and of course he has it. So man, it's like it's so weird because now I'm him and he me, right? And how I wanted him to call me is how he's treating me. You get what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
guilty.
Who feel
Well,
guilty?
not
Me and
guilty.
him.
I mean, I don't mean like he feel guilty, but like now that he going through things.
Right. So now he has like a girlfriend, right? And it's crazy. Have you ever heard of the saying, the blind leading the cripple or the cripple leading the blind?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this girl was blind and he crippled. It's like, when a person has done so much wrong, I don't even want to say just me or that person. He's just that person, period. Like, it's like, you made your bed, now you got to lay in. But even though you did me wrong, I have the power to at least amend a relationship, you know what I'm saying, while you in this, like transitional period. At least I can send you off the right way. You feel me? Like, whatever I went through when I was a teenager and shit like that, I'm over. Kind of sort of over it, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely some shit I want to ask him, especially like that shit I went through as a kid. Why you never made the effort to come check up on me, especially like going through that therapy and shit like that. Like, I remember that. I might not have remembered the molestation, but I definitely remember me fighting him off. The therapy shit I remember, it wasn't too far from my crib. I don't know if you're familiar with Percy L. Julian, but I used to go to counseling around there, and I'm from the Hundreds, so I'm in the area, so I'm passing this area every day, just remembering what I had to go through. Remember sitting in that office with that lady, you know what I'm saying? She just talking to me. So like, I want to ask him like why you took that real stint, like why you space out from me from like 7 to 11, yeah, teenager, you want to come back around. And then even with the coming back around, you left, you know what I'm saying? Or I ain't gonna say you left, but you was like in and out. And then when you in and out, these are times when I'm really into this gangbang. I'm an only child, so like I ain't had nobody. So I really wanted somebody to look up to at the moment. The camaraderie of being in the gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are niggas I grew up with, and I'm with them right or wrong, and I don't have no brothers and sisters. Like, oh yeah, I'm with it. Fuck it. You my brother. You feel me? Like, That's how we doing it. That's what this loyalty shit about. All right, fuck it, I'm with it. You my brother. Ain't no, we ain't snitching on each other. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit. So I was with that around that age.
So, his absence played a role in that too.
Big, yeah, for sure. I say about like 19, 21, or even while I'm still a teenager, my uncle was around. But I was rebellious, so in the back of my mind, like, you really can't tell me shit, nigga, you gay. I'm not trying to hear that shit, boy. You want to talk to me about sex, nigga, you fucking with other men. But I had to get older and understand like what was really going on and what the environment was bringing around me. You have to be accepting of certain shit. So before I even accepted that shit, I had to understand that shit and talk to other people. I had gay people in high school I talked to about like how they was feeling, you know what I'm saying, to understand homosexuality and shit like that. So I opened up, but it was like later though. It was like 18, 19, 20, around that time.
So now, if you have a family, what would you do different?
I'd be that 10 steps in it. I'm kind of thankful like I don't have kids right now because I kind of set the tone for my family now. I understand a lot of shit that I do now is wrong. So before I even put a family in this world, I want to make sure I'm good first, financially, mentally, physically, and just be there. Whatever God give me, boy or girl, just talk to him, be there for right or wrong, listen, teach.
So I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Even now, where, would you go to counseling now that you're older?
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to, you still do it?
Yeah, because it's crazy. I was talking to my neighbor, like me and my neighbor real cool, and I was talking to her about some shit, and she threw that out there, like maybe you should go to counseling. Like I kind of through the years developed like an anger problem. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like when shit gets real frustrating for me, I get angry. Or I just walk away from shit before I say something I don't mean. So definitely. But I want to try to channel my anger first before I go talk to someone. Like a mentality almost. From what people tell me, only child syndrome. Like I want to do everything by myself.
So now that you're more, at a mature level now, what do you feel you angry with now?
Getting across to people don't understand me. Well, a lot of little friendships and shit that I was going through when I was a kid.
Okay, that makes sense. I think a lot of us as black men, we don't like going to doctors. We don't like counseling. You've been subject to counseling early, so that's why I was asking like, how do you feel now about
right?
Being
I
an
kind of
adult
been subject to it like all my life. The anger problems kind of started in high school, right? I had this dude, my dean of students, and we used to get into it. My thing in high school was I used to get in trouble for fighting with teachers a lot. I used to go to Von Steuben, so demographically, I come from a black area going all the way up north. I'm exposed to all demographics, Mexican, Bosnians. We had Russians I was going to school with. So I really understand now that teachers was really teaching at us. They wasn't teaching us, and they was teaching them. The black and brown society at our school was really low. My thing was what was you trying to say?
I said, so you went to a good school.
Yeah. My mom was very instrumental, especially through high school, me getting an education for sure. So, like I said, I shopped around through grammar school. So I guess while I was shopping around, she understood like, okay, I know what you're gonna go through high school, so I'm gonna send you out the community, point blank. And I was playing basketball, so my basketball coach had something to do with that too.
Okay. What'd your mama do for a living?
She had her fair share in a lot of jobs. My youngest memory, she was working at the post office, did Securitas for a little minute, went back to school, was an electrician, and then now she works for CTA.
Okay, yeah, my mom used to work for CTA.
Pops did too, but he was a janitor. Mom just a bus driver.
Yeah, my mama, she drove the train, the L. But so with her doing that, like working for CTA, how old was she when you was working that job? Because
So she was old.
Was she at home older. Like that?
I was older, so I'm gonna say about sophomore, junior year high school. That's when she got the CTA gig. So by that time, I want to say she wasn't at home, but I was young enough to, fend for myself. She leave me $20, $30. That's lunch money for the next couple days. And then when she first started, she was definitely working longer hours than she was now. She got her feet in, so she could set on her schedule. But I was cool with it though. I understood. I remember when I was a kid helping her for the truck driver test. So me and my mom's tight.
Okay, okay. So around that time, you was already in the gang life, right?
Right, exactly. So yeah, her leaving me $20, $30. Oh yeah, I was good. I understood you was gonna be out until like 12 at night on the weekends. Oh yeah, I'm out here. I'm in the street.
Partying in there, that.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. Did a lot of your friends have they father in their life?
Uh, man, it's crazy. I got a friend from grammar school, 7th grade. Yeah, his pops was around, but his pops wasn't the pops that you kind of looked up to. You know what I'm saying? Like he was more the alky. You know what I'm saying? The alcoholic. But
Was drinking all the time.
yeah. I faint remember memories. You know what I'm saying? We'd be playing a game, and he'd be upstairs arguing with his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying, on some drunk shit. That's kind of how me and my friend started our relationship. His pops would be having like episodes at the crib. You know what I'm saying, on some angry shit. So he'll call me like middle of the night, like, man, bro, like sneak me in, bro. I just want to sleep at night, bro. Like, all right, I got you. I'm saying that we've been close since. You know what I'm saying? That's still my dog. Him of all people, the only one that had his father. Nobody really that I could think of off the top. Nah. Um, a lot of my friends did have like older brothers, but like the older brothers was like our big homies. You know what I'm saying? Like them was the dudes that we was following and started gang banging with, and you know what I'm saying, doing shit for.
So it was like a cycle that you got put in.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of like how it was with me. I got three sisters. My mama, so I kind of grew up around all girls too. But when I started getting in the streets, and it was more so like I wanted more.
For
I,
me,
I
I just
wasn't.
didn't want to listen to them. I understood maybe 12, 11. Like I got a dick in my pants, right? You got a vagina. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You don't understand what I'm going through, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't want to listen. So I understood at an early age. Like, fuck that. I'm gonna have to learn on my hard head, make a soft ass. Like, I'm gonna have to learn the hard way. And I was cool with it. Cause it was
throughout,
just me by myself.
throughout that time, did you have any like close female friends that maybe you wasn't sleeping with, maybe you was, talk to things with?
Yeah, the female friends that came during high school. Like I'm close knit with a couple female friends I used to go to high school with. Yeah, that came kind of later. It was crazy because me going up north to school versus living out south, I wasn't kicking it with them. I was going to go gang bang on the block as soon as I get out of school. Like everybody else lived uptown or the west side. I'm familiar with what they got going on, but I'm not. I'm not from y'all hood, so I can't fuck with y'all. So I'm going back to the roots to where I know I'm good at.
But now that you're older, did you feel like if you could look back on those moments and the ones that you did confide in and knew your story, they try to give you good advice?
As far as who the women,
Yeah.
okay, if I had female friends, it was really on some school shit. I ain't really open up to nobody. You know what I'm saying? The female friends I have now know my story. But in high school, nah, I wasn't. Nah. Like I was kind of like free at high school to really be me for real versus leaving to have to go out south and I'm just out just street nigga.
Okay,
Like
so
even
you
though I
really
had to
didn't.
deal with gangs and shit in school, I was a stone, so I was going to school with like vice lords and folk on the hustle. So I was good. You know what I'm saying? We all people nation and shit like
Right.
that. I was straight.
So everybody under the fin ball.
Right, exactly. So I was good. I just didn't, go kick it with it. Like I ain't know what y'all got going on. I'm gonna head out south. Y'all be easy.
And so really the only person you had to confide in was the counseling when you was doing that.
Right, yeah, that in myself. Yeah. That's why I'm so optimistic about it, because I done kind of been through it through a kid and kind of through high school. So maybe the time that I had off from high school to now, maybe I might need to go talk to somebody. Like I'm optimistic about
So I think we only got a couple minutes
it.
left.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to work on this a little bit more, just one on one, having discussions with different men and stuff, and keep bringing out our stories as men, and where so we could, in a sense, get to a point of building where everybody got a bunch of different stories. You could come back on where people might have the same type of stuff going on. They got somewhere to know that they ain't alone, and then we could start having more discussions to build on that as men. Because we gotta be responsible for our part too. And in a sense, really, one-on-ones like this on the woman aspect of it. Get people to open up, tell their story, like what would they do different now for their kids and stuff, and how would they try to be a better person from their experience.